Moki stared morosely out of the hospital window. Her whānau was furious with her, demanding to know what she was thinking, doing something so stupid and crazy, so selfish, especially when her mother was in such a bad way. How thoughtless could she be? Blah, blah, fucking blah. A tear trickled down the side of her face and she slapped it away. Fuck that. Like she needed to be told what an idiot she was. Like being in a hospital bed, feeling as if someone had kicked her gut from one end of the rugby field to the other, wasn't a big enough reminder. At least they were all gone now, thank God. The doctor had told them all she needed rest. Romeo walked hesitantly into the room. Hey, she blinked, surprised to see him. Hey. Her voice was hoarse from puking herself inside out and her throat hurt like hell. These are for you. He held out a bunch of orange lilies, 5 long stems tied tightly together in a bunch wrapped with purple paper and red cellophane. Only a couple of blooms had opened. The delicate petals bowed back on themselves, revealing long yellow stamens covered with dark red pollen. She had never received flowers before and she didn't know what to say. Thanks, they're pretty. He saw a line of empty vases on the shelf. He took the biggest to the sink and half filled it with water. He put it on her bedside cabinet and shoved the flowers in, paper and all. Sorry, he flushed. I don't know how to do stuff like that. They look nice. He sat down on the chair next to her. Are you okay? She nodded. What happened is shit. She flicked her eyes up to his face and away again. Everybody is pissed off with me. I'm not. I bet Laurel is. Nah, he grinned. Okay, maybe a bit, but only because you puked on her. Oh, shit. I would have loved to seen that. Moki cleared her throat and turned away. It hurt. Apart from that, she's more pissed off with Piripi. He blew his breath out in a low whistle. She punched him in the face. What? Moki's head snapped around. Why did she do that? Because she thinks he did something to you. His face hardened. Did he? He didn't hurt me. She wiped the back of her hand across her eyes. That way. But he did hurt you, didn't he? She shook her head. He didn't do anything bad to me. Why are you lying? You think he touched me, don't you? She looked up at him, her face crimson. He didn't. She turned away again. He didn't do anything. He just... What? Said stuff to me, that's all. What? What did he say? She sucked in a deep breath, tears spurting down her face. I don't want... It's okay. He said I was so fat and ugly he'd rather do it with a pig than me. Romeo leaned forward and held Moki's hand awkwardly. He's talking shit, Moki. You're beautiful. He's a dick. He doesn't deserve to look at you, let alone talk to you. Moki gulped, trying to think of something to say. No one had ever told her she was beautiful, not even her mother. The door swung open and Laurel hurried in. Hey Moki, how's it? Romeo snatched his hand away. Moki shoved hers under the blanket. Going! Laurel pinned a smile to her lips. I'm okay. Sorry for puking on you. Laurel dragged a chair over and sat down. Not one of your finest moments, she pulled her face. But it's okay. You weren't quite yourself at the time. She reached over and patted her arm. Do you know when you're going home? Moki looked down, embarrassed. No. They're keeping an eye on my liver for a few days. She tried to push herself up against her pillows. I have to see a psychiatrist and do some tests. Romeo grabbed the bed control. Hey, cool, watch this. He pushed the buttons to find out which was which, then elevated the back, pushing her upright. Thanks. Romeo smiled at her. No worries. Laurel's eyes darted from Romeo to Moki and back again. Mum's arranged for 2 nurses to look after your mum, day and night. Auntie Paula's taking care of the house and Nanny T has your sisters. Mum won't like that, Moki sighed. She doesn't like outsiders knowing our business. Apparently it takes 4 people to do the work you were doing by yourself. Don't have a go at my mum. I wasn't having a go at your mum, Laurel snapped. I was just saying. Do you want a TV? Romeo interrupted. I can bring the Wii over too, or the PlayStation. You don't have to. Moki stared at her hands, feeling her face burn. It's sweet. He looked from Moki to Laurel. It'll give me something to do when I visit. Save me having to listen to you two fighting. He jumped out of his seat. I've got to get back. See you tonight about 7, eh? I'll bring a TV and PlayStation. He looked at Laurel. Do you want a lift home? No, it's okay. Mum's here. Do you want to come back with me tonight? Sure. She stared at the toe of her feet, tapping against the chipped, scarred lino. Thanks. He stood up, shoving his hands in his pocket. See ya, Mikey smiled. Thanks for the flowers. He flicked his eyebrows. No worries. He glanced at Laurel, but she didn't look back.